amazing. A 40-pound vest. I can only imagine if it was 100 pounds, but it makes me want to do some movements and training. This is amazing. A 40-pound vest. I can only imagine if it was 100 pounds, but it makes me want to do some movements and training.
What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Lennox Lewis. Pick up England, pick up. Lennox Lewis says that Tyson Fury is a lot more dangerous than Anthony Joshua and backs the Gypsy King to beat his British heavyweight rival this year. Lennox Lewis thinks that Tyson Fury is favored over Anthony Joshua, and he makes these statements. He says that Tyson Fury is capable of causing Anthony Joshua an array of problems when the British heavyweights finally meet in the ring next year. He says that, of course, he gave Tyson Fury a lot of praise when he beat Deontay Wilder in the rematch back in February, and believes that in confidence, blending with his height and punching ability means Joshua faces a formidable task to beat him. Okay? He says the Fury and Joshua fight, you have got two big guys and they can punch and they can box, Lewis said. He said you've got Fury, he is a switch hitter, and he is going into the fight with a lot more dangerous things to watch out for. The fact that he can punch with the left hand, with his right hand, he is a slugger as well. The way he went after Deontay Wilder, nobody expected that. He said that what he is going to do, and he did it. He said what he was going to do, and he did it. I like guys who box with confidence like that. Lewis also believes that Fury's height compared to Joshua, who is 6'6", has a 3-inch disadvantage, will make his life a lot easier. He says, I've always said that it is always difficult to box taller guys, Lewis explained. He is 6'9". You are not going to get any sparring partners who is 6'9" to go in there. He says AJ has to figure out as well. It is going to take him a few rounds. Before facing Fury, Joshua, of course, defended his IBF, WBA, and WBO heavyweight titles against Kubrat Pulev last year against Kubrat Pulev. So, that's basically what Lennox Lewis had to say. He said his boxing ability, because he's a switch hitter, and his height will be a problem. Well, I think Lennox Lewis is, before I start, I think he was going to pick Tyson Fury anyway. I mean, because it's a win-win for him, because they're both his countrymen, so really whoever wins, but he would favor Tyson Fury anyway. I think him and Anthony Joshua, let's just face it, have bad blood, so it's expected to see his result. Now, his analysis, does it stand up? Yes, some of it does, okay? The height, he mentioned himself that Tyson Fury's height would give him problems, okay? And, in versus everyone else, would he have problems beating anyone else? He wouldn't have any problems, so he says, fighting Joshua or Wilder or anybody else except for Tyson Fury. So that would be a reasonable reason, like, hey, if I know I can beat Anthony Joshua, I might have problems with Tyson Fury because of those attributes. So what Lennox Lewis is saying is, if I would have problems with Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua should have problems with Tyson Fury because of the same reason, because of the height, and Tyson Fury can slug and punch. Well, I'm going to tell you why it's semi-biased. I'll say semi-biased because Lennox Lewis he did say, well, Anthony Joshua can box. Like he said, you got two guys in there that can box. But Tyson Fury boxes with confidence, okay? Now, he may be onto something with that because Anthony Joshua, he is learning every day. So when you're learning on the job, or you're learning as you go, and you're learning new things each and every day, possibly, you're going to if you haven't practiced doing so, you're going to look a little apprehensive when doing it, while doing it. Not saying you can't do it effectively, but if something you've just learned, you're not going to do it smoothly as if you've knew how to do it, known how to do it, right? Well, with Lennox Lewis, what he didn't say is, I was surprised, is he didn't really break down the attributes of Anthony Joshua. You see what I'm saying? He said that Tyson Fury is a switch hitter. He can hit with both the left and the right. And he can slug when need be. And I like his confidence. Okay. Well, what is the elephant in the room? Who else are we talking about? We're talking about Anthony Joshua. He didn't say one thing Anthony Joshua can do. It almost sounds like an Andre Ward type of situation, but a little bit more detailed. A little bit more, and it's, at least he didn't say, oh, well, he wasn't good enough or anything like that. Because I think Lennox Lewis is, very careful on the words that he picks towards Anthony Joshua because he's been blasted in the past. But the thing is, when you don't say what a person is capable of doing when you're giving your analysis, that also comes off as just as bad. Okay, because Joshua, last I learned, Joshua can also hit with his left. His left hook is his best punch. That's his left hand. The straight right is devastating also. The right uppercut. The stiff jab. Okay, those are 4 punches that I just named that we didn't hear anything coming out of Lennox Lewis's mouth that Anthony Joshua was good at. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, it may sound better when you don't mention what a fighter can do, but then it just seems weird when everyone else knows what this person has and you didn't mention it. Did you just forget it? You basically praised one fighter and what that fighter can do. Yeah, the switch hitting, cool. Which Tyson Fury really doesn't switch hit all the time. Okay, he doesn't switch hit like that. He's not a Terrence Crawford. Okay, Terrence Crawford does that each and every fight. Tyson Fury does not. Punching is another story because it's like, okay, punching is though you're like, all right, well, this guy can punch. Well, he can punch. That's fine. But, the other guy is known of the bigger puncher as the higher knockout percentage. He knocked out Klitschko. Tyson Fury didn't do that. You know what I mean? Deontay Wilder hasn't really fought anyone else. So we don't really know how good those guys would be based on who they fought because they don't have a lot of common opponents. So him saying, well, I like the way he did that to Deontay Wilder, well, that's a little reckless to say because nobody else has fought Wilder. Okay, and then Wilder's not a scrapper. He's a knockout artist. So he throws one punch at a time to get you out of there. So that's expected coming from a person that only throws one punch or 2 punches, in an attack session, okay, in a sequence. And that's Wilder. So, yeah, he looked good doing it. He said what he was going to do. And I agree with Lennox Lewis. He said what he was going to do, and he did it. He didn't do it in 2 rounds, though. But he did it. And a lot of people didn't think he was going to do it that way. We thought the only way that he was going to win was outbox him because he was a pillow puncher. Okay? A feather duster. Those were the words that were said about Tyson Fury. When he got with Javon Sugar Hill, he learned, hey, sit your ass down on your punches and actually throw them the right way. Okay? Don't flick your punches like you did with Ben Davison. You'll come out better. And it came out better. Because he stopped Deontay Wilder, or he convinced his team or the referee to stop the fight. But what does that mean when you're going in there with a totally different animal? Nothing. Doesn't mean anything. Until you're able to do it. And I'm not doubting that Tyson Fury can do it, but what I do is I doubt the way that he would do it the way he did it against Deontay Wilder. So if that's all Lennox Lewis is basing that on, that's not really a good analysis at all. But based on the fact that a man has called you a clown to the world, yeah, I can see you not backing that particular fighter, right? And his name is Anthony Joshua. So that's my counterpunch on Lennox Lewis picking Tyson Fury to beat Anthony Joshua in this much highly anticipated saga. Of course, please subscribe. Tell me what you think, and you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.